Oh man. Oh hey Juan. Just getting to start, man. Just starting. I'm a little late today, about 10 minutes late. I was kind of busy with something else, but I'm here now. So everybody, welcome. So this is Aaron Entertainment, AA with RLN Entertainment, bringing you episode 16 of Why We Love Sports, and what a jam-packed show we have for you guys today. Okay, volume is low, good. Just making sure the volume is low. Volume's low, okay. Okay. So, topics. I say, hello, Jobber. How are you guys? Well, how are you? So, topics today, guys. As you see here, Tampa Bay Buccaneers win the Super Bowl. Tom Brady's greatest of all time. Will Carson Wentz get traded? I thought he was gonna be traded. Andrew Bentintendi of the Red Sox has been traded to the Royals. MLB Spring training is about to start, and we got to revise schedule for spring training. We're going to go over any NBA standings and news. NHL standings and news. And there was a trade today in the NHL. J.J. Watt and the Texans part ways. Once again, Houston loses another star. Kris Bryant trade talks heating up again with the Mets, which held to the ways. And whatever stuff you want to put in the chat and want me to talk about, I'll talk about. But maybe I could get some people in here. People in here. Then I have to put this headset on. So let me put on my headset. If they come on, they come on. If they don't, they don't. I can do the show solo as I've done before. I want to get Wall Wilkins on here. If he can get it on. Because I want to talk Minnesota stuff with them. I want to see, I'll get Sean too. SRS on here. Maybe talk a little baseball, because it's my favorite sport. I know Sean loves it, and I know. If you can. So yeah, guys, well, 7 viewers, okay. And thanks for all coming on, guys. So we're gonna talk about the Super Bowl, and I sent links to some guests. If they come on, they come on. That's why I'm wearing the headset. Otherwise, if I'm not having guests, I won't be wearing the headset. But if they come on, they come on. Wall Wilkins, I invited Wall Wilkins. I want to talk to Minnesota if he wants to come on. Talk about Minnesota. Talk about a little baseball. Talk about hockey, basketball. My Raptors are playing against Wolves tomorrow. If Sean wants to come on, we'll talk a little bit about baseball. I have no idea, Jobber. Vaughn could look that up for you. I have no idea. Yeah, but he did beat him head to head. Yeah, man. You could do that. You didn't know that? Yeah, so I'm actually on 3 streams too. Periscope, YouTube, and Twitch. So Periscope's Twitter, obviously. you could do that. I'm technically triple streaming. This is for the not the pro edition, but this is a paid edition from StreamYard, where I can stream on three different streaming sites like Periscope, YouTube, and Twitch. There's another edition which is more on StreamYard where you could do for six streaming services, but I'm not doing that because I don't want to pay that much. But yeah, we're gonna talk Super Bowl. So my thoughts on the Super Bowl. So we all know Tampa Bay Buccaneers won 31-9. It was not. If you're a Buccaneers fan and a Brady fan, you were happy. If you're not, you're not happy, obviously. But you gotta give props to the Buccaneers. They came ready to play. Maybe there were some calls in the first half that were suspicious at best. Maybe it should not have been called. But Mahomes definitely looked hurt in this game. He had a turf toe injury he was going to get surgery on. So he definitely looked like he was playing hurt. And he was scrambling like 90% of the game all day. The Tampa Bay rush was getting to him. That offensive line of Kansas City, yeah, they had a lot of injuries. Their top lineman was out, Eric Fisher, and some other linemen were out. So they had some backups in. So yeah, their starting line was decimated, and that clearly showed in the Super Bowl when the Tampa Bay's defense, especially their defensive line, was able to scramble and get pressure on Mahomes, where Mahomes had to try these throws, and nobody on the receiving corps could catch. No, they did not. They did not. And I picked the Chiefs to win, so perhaps in the first half there were some calls that had your eyes rolling going against the Chiefs. But Brady always gets the benefit of the calls. So we know the result. Brady wins the Super Bowl, his 7th Super Bowl in his career, 7-3 in 10 Super Bowls. I don't think that's ever going to be broken. Even if people say Mahomes is the next one, the next quarterback, everybody's predicting to be the next Brady. Going to the Super Bowl once is extremely hard. Like Aaron Rodgers only gone there once. It's hard to get to the Super Bowl. I just don't see Tom Brady record of going to 10 Super Bowls being broken, and I don't see a record of winning 7 Super Bowls ever being broken right now for the time being. Maybe one day, sometime in the future is possible. Anything is possible, but it's extremely hard to go to 10 Super Bowls. It's hard to go to 1 Super Bowl, right? So 31-9, Tampa Bay wins. So now let's get to the topic of Brady. Okay. Tom Brady, is he the greatest athlete of all time? That's a subject because define athlete. It's athlete. Athlete is a talented player, right? Strength, speed, agility, right? But so let's go to maybe great. So let's define him in a better way, like greatest winner of all time. Perhaps in team sports, he's right up there. Maybe. Maybe I would say Michael Jordan's number 1 because he's never lost a championship. He's 6-0 in the championship, and I'm convinced if he didn't leave for baseball, they would have went 8-0. 8-0 to the finals 8 times. They went 8-0. So I think Michael Jordan's the greatest winner of all time. Yeah, you could say in the individuals, but Tiger Woods at one point. So Tiger Woods, Serena Williams, Pele, or Roger Federer, Nadal. But those are all individual sports. So team sports, I go Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, and yeah. Some people are say Wayne Gretzky, and some people say Maurice Richard in the early days. And Maurice Richard, because the Montreal Canadiens won a bunch of cups in a row. Montreal Canadiens were the most elite team in hockey. When Maurice Richard played, he might have been the best player then, but Maurice Richard played in the NHL. There was only 6 NHL teams playing at the time. So where Brady is an NFL has 32 teams. Yeah, he doesn't play all 32 teams a season, right? They only play 16 games. He plays two in each division, six teams in each division, two of each team in his division, and then he'll play a couple of other teams from his conference and a couple other teams from the other conference. And football, the difference between football and basketball, baseball and hockey, those sports, they don't base a schedule. They don't base the schedule on how well you have the previous record. In football, the schedule is based on your previous record from the season before. So if you're the worst team in the NFL, the next season you get an earlier schedule, an easier schedule. That's the difference between the two sports. And thank you for the 10 viewers watching. So yeah, you can disagree with me. I saw Michael Jordan's the greatest winner, team sport winner. And Michael Jordan, even with his Washington days, guy averaged 20 points a game in Washington at like 38, 39, 40. Michael Jordan's a special kind of player. Or you can also say Bill West, so back in the day when they won. Yeah, but there was not a lot of teams in, and there was the ABA. So we can't really judge. Like from athletes back. Babe Ruth. The thing about baseball, you can't say who's the greatest winner in baseball. Yeah, there's a lot of baseball goes back over 100 years. There's names of Babe. You could say Babe Ruth, Willie Mays, Jackie Robinson, Mickey Mantle, Ken Griffey, Mike Trout. Mike Trout might be the best player now, but he's not the best winner because his team hasn't. Ever since he's been on the Angels, his team hasn't won anything. Ken Griffey might have been the best player in the majors, but his team, a couple times his team has been in playoffs, but he's never won a World Series. Albert Pujols, for those 10 years in St. Louis, he might have been the best player in the sport, offensively wise, because he did win a couple World Series when he was in St. Louis. But his Anaheim tenure, well, not exactly St. Louis elite like. He still produced good numbers, and he's definitely a Hall of Famer. Derek Jeter was solid career, Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer, but he wasn't the best player in baseball. And you could argue, was he the best shortstop in baseball? Playing in New York has its benefits, though. Playing for the Yankees has its benefits. Baseball is very hard. Football should be very, very hard too. But with Tom Brady's success, he makes a pretty good argument that he could be the best winner, team sport winner. Where I think Michael Jordan still is. But tell me in the comments below, who do you think is the best team sport winner? Because it separates the individual sports like golf, tennis, double tennis, who doesn't matter, golf, tennis, what other individual sport? Volleyball. Oh, okay. And I'm sorry, and all you soccer fans, I'm not. You can educate me in soccer. You can tell me on soccer too. If you have any soccer players you think might be the best athlete, the best winner, tell me. Jobber, I know you're England. You're in England. You might, and I think you do like soccer there, right? You tell me. Is he ever right? I'm not gonna. So they managed it. So the NFL managed to get through the season, right? Remember, there was a time where it may not happen. I could tag. So that's NFL talk for you guys. Let's go to the next subject. NFL talk still. So we're gonna go with this. I know my lineup says is Carson Wentz really get traded. We all expect him to get traded, but I'm gonna go with the bigger news first in the NFL, and that is J.J. Watt. Jobber, he was a free agent, so they didn't really cut him or let him go. I think they were interested in re-signing him. Of course, he won't let a talent like that go. But he was a free agent, so my guess is he definitely went on his terms. So it doesn't look good for New England, but there's nothing New England can do because he signed 2 years in Tampa Bay and he has 1 more year left in Tampa. So he was a free agent, so he's free to go anywhere he wanted, and Tampa Bay was his choice. So let's go with the J.J. Watt stuff. Then I'll talk about the Carson Wentz and Deshaun Watson. So I'll change that a bit. J.J. Watt, Deshaun Watson, and then Carson Wentz. So, as you know, the Texans and J.J. Watt parted ways yesterday. The 32-year-old defensive end, parted ways. Now, J.J. Watt at one point was perhaps the best defensive rusher in the NFL. But over the years, injuries got the best of him, but his stats have been declining. He's 32 years old, so it's expected he's on a decline, not the player he once was in his prime. So it looks like his prime is starting on the decline now. He's been released, making a lot of money. So for his production, the Texans had to let him go because of the production he's providing him for the money they were paying him. So Texans had to let him go. He's a free agent. This apparently was a mutual thing, but J.J. Watt was clearly unhappy in Houston, so they had no choice. You don't want a disgruntled player on your team, so he's free to go. He's a free agent. Some teams can use it. He's still useful. Don't expect elite production from him. Once again, he's 32, as I said. He's on a decline, so he'll still be useful for a team because he still could provide you some defense. He can still provide some help for whatever team on the defensive line, on the defensive edge, that can rush the quarterback. He will not get you 10 sacks. Again, he'll probably get you 4 or 5 sacks. But we'll see, guys. And speaking of Houston, right? So Deshaun Watson wants out too. So Houston has to trade Deshaun Watson. They're gonna have to trade Deshaun Watson. To trade Deshaun Watson. They're gonna mention it. He doesn't want to play for them. He doesn't want to play for them. And they have to trade this guy. Eventually, man. Houston, the city of Houston, right? If they lose to Deshaun Watson, they lost what? But the city of Houston, look at the players they have lost like the last few years. Garrett Cole is stuck on the Astros. Garrett Cole, George Springer. Who else? Watkins, James Harden, Chris Paul. NFL, Deshaun Watson. Eventually, Deshaun Watson. They lost J.J. Watt. The city of Houston has lost a lot of star power in their sports. They don't have a hockey team, but if they did, they'd probably lose the star power there too. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be doing that. But so yeah, Deshaun Watson. So a segue to another. This thing kind of goes with Carson Wentz. So Carson Wentz has not been traded yet, but I think he will be traded. It just things not going well right now between apparently he was going to go to the Bears, right, for first rounder Terry Cohen and somebody else, but the trade hasn't happened. Apparently the Bears might be getting cold feet on the price tag. I'm not 100% sure. But if Carson Wentz goes to the Bears, gets a first rounder, third rounder, Terry Cohen or something, what would Deshaun Watson get, right? Deshaun Watson could get you more value because Deshaun Watson is a top 5 quarterback on a good team. He was a top 5 quarterback on a bad team. So on a good team, massive upgrade. To whoever team, he's worth at least 2 first rounders. Maybe a first rounder and a couple second rounders. That's what Deshaun Watson will get you in value. And if I was Chicago, I'd rather go after Deshaun Watson than for Carson Wentz, because he's a much better quarterback. And I think with Deshaun Watson in Chicago, there and that defense, they could be a legitimate threat to the Green Bay Packers. And yes, the Chicago Bears have to resign their star receiver Allen Robinson, who's also a free agent, and there's a chance he could leave the team. But Deshaun Watson, Carson Wentz, and whatever team gets Carson Wentz is a high risk, low reward. Because if he's healthy and he does need to change the string, if he's healthy and becomes a quarterback that Philadelphia season him, and that team, whoever gets him, got a steal. But if he's the quarterback of this past season, injury prone, not accurate, throwing interceptions left and right, then they gave up a lot. So Deshaun Watson, if you trade for Deshaun Watson, there's no high risk there. With Carson Wentz, there's a high risk there. And that's what any team that trades for Carson Wentz. So I'd rather go for Watson. I get more value for Watson than Carson Wentz. Definitely. And if the value for Wentz is more than people in the industry perceive, then the Texans are going to clearly just ask even for more for Deshaun Watson. Carson Wentz gets traded for more value. People see him for the way the football industry reviews him as. Then they're definitely. All right. I got him. Definitely, Deshaun Watson. I'm just gonna reply to his DM. I got Rob Kilkins. He's not gonna be able to come on, but I'll set a time. So I'm replying to this. Yeah. So yeah. Messi, okay. Messi and Ronaldo. Yeah, it's true. I think Ronaldo had if correct me wrong, Ronaldo might have more success than Messi like lately, right? And let's see what else. Okay. We're gonna get to the NBA, NHL stuff at the end. There was an NHL trade today. I'll go over with you guys if you're interested. But we're gonna go over some baseball, right? So we got some trades, we got some signings, and there might have been more stuff today because. Whatever, that's not important. Arbitration cases, not important. Matt Harvey, well, I guess that's important. But let's go down to Red Sox throwback team. My buddy's throwback team. So, a couple weeks ago or something, there was a talk at Boston, and there's been talk about it among the reporters, the insiders, that Boston's looking to trade Andrew Bentintendi. One team that was rumored to be interested was the Marlins. That never happened, but he has been traded in a three-way deal that involves the Kansas City Royals and New York Mets. So apparently, Andrew Bentintendi should trade from the Boston Red Sox. Left fielder plays the Green Monster. Is being traded to Kansas City. So he's going to be on Kansas City Royals, and the Mets got involved sending some prospects from Kansas City to Boston and some to Kansas City. And one of those prospects, I don't forget his name, was involved in a Steven Matz trade with the Blue Jays a couple weeks ago. When the Jays traded for Steven Matz, one of the prospects went to New York, and that prospect that went to New York, the Mets, got traded involved in this three-way deal with Andrew Bentintendi in Kansas City. So that prospect that got traded to New York is going to Boston in this three-way deal. And Boston and Jackie Bradley Jr. is only free agent only outfielder left, but he's a free agent. So I don't know their outfielder. The only outfielder I can think of is on that team is Alex Verdugo, who was involved with that Mookie Betts trade prior to last season, right? Because the Mookie Betts had no intentions of re-signing Boston, so they traded him to the Dodgers for two prospects and Alex Verdugo, and that's the only outfielder right now Boston has on the roster. Because Jackie Bradley is a free agent and they traded Bentintendi. And let's go to some more baseball news, guys. Then I'm going to talk about spring training. So, baseball. Tampa Bay signed Rich Hill to a 1-year deal. Now Tampa Bay lost a lot of lost Snell and Charlie Morton. Blake Snell and Charlie Morton. They traded Blake Snell and Charlie Morton signed the Braves. So they signed Rich Hill, 41-year-old, solid pitcher, but he has to stay healthy. 41 years old, so we can't forget that age. They also won the arbitration kid with Ryan Yarbrough. Solid, more of a opener. An opener is a new term in baseball where a guy starts the game and only pitches 1 or 2 innings and they put a new guy in. That's what the Yarbrough is basically penciled in as an opener. It's been used in like 2019, 2018. Tampa Bay is the first team to invent that formula, and some teams have been using it since. I know my team, the Blue Jays, have used it a couple times. But the Rays signed Rich Hill to 1 year because Tampa Bay, we all know Tampa Bay, developed team. They know how to win with talent that you wouldn't think is elite, but they know how to win. They got winning formula, and they lose a lot. And every year they somehow lose a lot of good talent, and they always find a way to win. I mean, Snell and Morton, that's a huge loss, and they got Rich Hill. We'll see how Tampa Bay does. Rich Hill's a lefty, and my Blue Jays lineup is majority righty, and we'll see how he does against that lineup. And then also the Yankees. Who? Oh, okay. Also, Yankees have their best hitters are righties. Boston, I don't know. Boston we're going to have to worry about. So he's a division with a majority righty lineup, especially with Blue Jays. It's not necessarily as dangerous and stuff. But Tampa Bay, here's the thing with Tampa Bay. They look like they got weaker, and they probably have, but never underestimate the Tampa Bay. Oh, Devil Rays. Oh, yes, thank you for reminding me. I was going to talk about that too. So I'm going to talk about that after the race thing. And then I'm going to talk about Kris Bryant. So Mark Melanso is going to the Padres. I think he pitched to the Giants. Apparently his strikeout walkway has gone down. He's more of a contact hitter. But he's a solid reliever, good addition to the Padres. The Padres are making a run for it. Yes, the Dodgers signed Bauer. Stack rotation. They re-signed Walker Buehler to a good contract. So they have Walker Buehler for some time. But Melanson to the Padres, a huge addition. They got the guy from Korea, Kim, Darvish, Snell, Mark Melanson. Good additions. They're making one. They're challenging the Dodgers for the AL West title. And well, I still think the Dodgers are the favorite, but I would not be surprised if the Padres win that title. And so a small news: Yankees signed Jay Bruce to a minor league deal. If he can make the team, he'll not hit a lot of average, but with that porch and Yankee Stadium, he might get a lot of home runs. Orioles signed former Mets ace for like 2 years, and then career has been not so well, not so good. Matt Harvey, remember one time was like the future of the Mets, and then all of a sudden he fell from grace, hasn't been able to become the pitcher that everybody thought he was going to be. So the Orioles saw Matt Harvey for a minor league deal. Yeah, Ron, you just nailed it right there. You're right. Yeah, I agree. But he strikes out too much. The difference between with Judge and Stanton is Judge does strike out, but he also walks a lot. He has a good on base percentage, and he usually when he's healthy, his average is pretty good. So with Stanton, I think Stanton is one of the most overrated players in the majors. He might have the most power, but he's really not that. He's really not good anywhere else. He can hit you 50 home runs, but he will not walk. Yeah, I just talked about that. It's Worlds are a little better. They got a little better. Boston, I don't know what their outfield is. They only have Alex Virago. Yeah. And then this Justin Turner might go to the Brewers, who might be in the Dodgers. I think he's going back to the Dodgers. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's here. Well, playing for the Marlins and playing for the Yankees is a whole different animal. When you're in a New York uniform, a Yankee uniform more specifically, it's different pressure than you're playing for the Marlins. And there's been some great Hall of Famers and some great players in the past. When they put on the pinstripes, don't perform. Oh, hello, Kingston. They don't perform. It's a different animal playing in New York, especially for the Yankees, than it's playing for the Miami Marlins. And the Mets, like a month ago, the Mets and Cubs were talking about a trade for Kris Bryant, and then that talks died, and then it stopped talking, didn't go anywhere. Apparently, they picked up again. Picked up again, and Kris Bryant has one more year left before he's a free agent, and the Mets might be looking right now. They have J.D. Davis penciled as a third baseman, but they're not 100% sure if he should be a third baseman. So that's why I think they're re-engaged talks with the Cubs looking for Kris Bryant for third base, possible addition of Kris Bryant to third base. I think for 1 year it'd be fine, but it depends what they give up. And I like J.D. Davis. He's versatile. I think he can play multiple positions. If you look at the Mets position players. They got P. Alonso first, right? J.D. Davis at third, Lindor at short. Who's their second base? It's not Cano, because Cano's suspended. Smith in left field, Dominic Smith. Brandon Nemo in center, and Michael Conforto in right. And they're not sure if J.D. Davis is a third base. Maybe if they get Bryant, they can move J.D. Davis to second base, replacing the suspended Robinson Cano. I don't know. Maybe that's the plan the Mets have. And let's talk about spring training, guy. So pitchers and catchers are going to arrive next week. They all have different dates, right? And then the rest of the team arrives. And then spring training, the exhibition games start in March. They had to, MLB had to renew the schedule, remake the schedule because they don't want the teams to travel as much. Typical in a typical regular spring training, you travel all across Florida, and Arizona you travel across Arizona. In the Grapefruit League is Florida. Teams travel from the north end to the south end, wherever teams has their affiliate in, their spring training in. But this time they decided to make it like a pod. So in the Tampa Bay area, which includes Dunedin and such, the teams in those around those areas are gonna play each other, and teams around the Miami area are gonna play each other. So they're not gonna have a crossover. This time, just to mitigate travel, because you know why. Obviously, there's an obvious reason why. I'm not gonna say it, but clearly I know why, and you know why they're doing this. But they're playing less games too. They have some more off days. They're playing less games too. No split squad. Using a regular spring training, they have split squad where your team plays 2 games in one day, but with a different roster, playing a different team, and your other roster playing a different team one day. They're not doing this year. It's going to be different. So some of the rules are coming back from last season. No DH rule. The DH rule is or American League only, but they're going to have 7-inning doubleheaders, and they're going to have 1 on a second and extra innings, which I like. I actually liked it. For the time being, I think it's worked. And then April 1st, April Fool's Day, it's the first regular season game of the MLB calendar. Blue Jays and the Yankees. My Blue Jays and the Yankees are going to play at 1:05 o'clock, 1:05 on national live TV. So in America, if you're not a Blue Jay fan, but if you like watching baseball on national TV, watch my Blue Jays play the Yankees. April 1st, 1 o'clock. I'm interested to see the spring training because I love spring training. What I love about spring training, it's not about the players that you already see on the rosters. Like, it's about the new players you see playing on their team, like the new additions from free agency and trades. But it's also seeing a glimpse into the future of the prospects your teams have, the ones that they bring over from the camp that they invite to your team. So like your top prospects that you never see on TV, but just for this month you might see them on TV. That's what I like about spring training. Is seeing a glimpse into the future with the young prospects your team has. That's what I watch spring training for. And I'm going to watch a lot of spring training baseball in the afternoon, starting in March. Definitely. Even during my wrestling shows and it's all about the pop show, I'm going to have my TV background. I'm going to have spring training games. Whichever spring training game's on, it doesn't matter the teams, whichever game's on, starting in March, they're going to be on the background. Where my TV is. Now, it's early, guys, but are you excited for MLB coming back? You can clearly tell I am. When MLB comes back, as I did for NHL in January and I did for the NBA in December, I'm going to do a preview stream of the MLB season. So be on the lookout for that in a month time, maybe the last week of March, just before the season starts. I'll be doing a preview stream of the MLB season. And I'll be wearing my Blue Jay hat. Not this hat. This is my Leaf hat. And a segue to the Leafs hockey. So guys, hockey season. And guess what? My Leafs have the most points in the NHL. And they have the most wins. 11, 2, and 1, I believe. Yeah, 1. So that makes for 23 points. They're leading the North over Montreal and Edmonton. I have the standings right here. Go over the standings, right? My Leafs are leading they play 14 games, they're leading the North. 23 points. Montreal second with 18 points. Edmonton is third with 18 points. So they're tied of Montreal, but they're third because they have more losses. Winnipeg is fourth with 17 points. Calgary is fifth with 15 points. Vancouver is sixth with 12 points. Ottawa is seventh with a measly 5 points. And now let's go to the East. Boston, which is second behind Toronto in points, has 22 points, so that'll make Throwback happy. Philadelphia has 18 points. Washington has 15 points. New York Islanders have 13 points. Pittsburgh has 13 points. They just hired Juan Hextall as a GM and Brian Burke as a president. So good luck for them in Pittsburgh. And I'll get to the Panthers soon. Next division. New York Rangers have 11 points. New Jersey has 10 points. Buffalo has 10 points. Now, the Central, for your Panthers, Juan. You'll like this. Tampa Bay has 19 points. The Florida Panthers has 18 points. Columbus has 17 points. Carolina has 16 points. Chicago has 16 points. Dallas has 13 points. Nashville has 12 points. And Detroit has a measly 8 points. Now, to the rest, St. Louis has 18 points. Vegas has 17 points. Colorado has 15 points. Anaheim has 15 points. Arizona has 13 points. Minnesota has 12 points. San Jose has 11 points. And Los Angeles has 11 points. So those are standings in NHL. So Toronto's first in NHL. Boston's second. Let's say Tampa Bay is third. And a bunch of teams tied for fourth in terms of points. No, they have a decent team. Florida has a decent team, man. No, you got Barkov. He's good. Your backup's really good. Backup Dweezer Drieger, 5 games played, 3 wins, 1 loss, 1 overtime loss with a 1.97 goals against average is really good. Bobrovsky's on the other hand, 5 wins, 0 losses, 1 overtime loss, but a 2.90 goals against. So yeah, so you're doing not bad, but Tampa Bay is really good. They have Stamkos is hurt though. As NHL standings, guys, okay, Keith Yandel. Keith Yandel is a solid defenseman, but he's not great defensively, but he's good in the power play. He's good at moving the puck. Offensively, he's good. Offensively, he's a good defenseman. But defensively, he's not. He's never known to be that. But he's been known to be a power play specialist, a guy who can move the puck, an offensive defenseman basically, and can skate. But you got Aaron Ekblad there, so Aaron Ekblad's very good. Yeah, they did. Because they can provide offense on the back end. And that's a rare commodity with a defenseman. Is finding a defenseman that can provide offense on the back end and who can move the puck. That's something you need in NHL these days, a defenseman that can move the puck quickly out of the zone and stuff. Let's go NBA, guys. So, NBA standing. So look at the NBA standing. Oh, no, there's an NHL trade. Okay. Let's go find the trade. Okay. So, it's not that hard, man. Trades is not that hard. Trust me. It took me a little bit to figure out, but it's not that hard. So, Ottawa and Carolina Hurricanes made a trade today. I almost forgot to talk about this. So, Ottawa Senators have acquired Ryan Dzingel from the Carolina Hurricanes in exchange for Alex Galchenyuk and J.J Watt, the team announced on Saturday. Now, Ryan Dzingel, I know him. He was originally an Ottawa Senator, but he got traded to the Blue Jackets, and then he signed with the Hurricanes. Galchenyuk's been traded all over the place from Montreal, Arizona, Pittsburgh, Minnesota, Ottawa. And Kris Bryant was just traded early before the season from Tampa Bay. Before the season from Tampa Bay with Brandon Coburn to Ottawa. And now they traded Kris Bryant to Carolina. So that's not a big trade, but it's a noteworthy trade in the NHL. Nice, man. So, nice. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, because I'm gonna go straight to the NBA now. So let's check the NBA standings. I don't even know what the trade deadline is. NBA standings. NBA standings, right? Let's go to conference. Philadelphia is first in the East. Milwaukee is second. Brooklyn is third. I'm not sold on Brooklyn's defense, but if they could get it worked out. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna state my opinion on this stuff. Boston's 4 for 13 and 12. Oh my god, the East is really bad. Indiana's 5th at 13 and 12. Charlotte is 13 14 and 6. Toronto 7 12 and 14. The Knicks 12 and 15 and 8th. Miami 11-14. I feel like the Heat. Now that everybody's healthy, they're gonna be over 500 and possibly make a win for a top seed. Atlanta's 10th, 11-14. Chicago's 11, 10, 15. Orlando's 12, 10, and 17. Cleveland's 10, 17, and 13. Detroit 7, 19, 14th. 15th, Washington. Wizards 6 and 7, even with Beal and Westbrook. The West. Utah's first. Los Angeles Lakers are second. Clippers are third. Phoenix is fourth. Portland is fifth. San Antonio is sixth. Denver is seventh. Golden State is eighth. Dallas is ninth at 13 and 14. So you can clearly see the East is really, really weak in the middle. The West is a much stronger conference. Most of the time, the West has always been a stronger conference than NBA. It's been like that for years. Milwaukee is not as good. Not as good as people thought they would be. Brooklyn has the potential to be the best team with the big three: Harden, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant. Miami, now everybody's healthy, could be very good. Have a chance to be very good, just as good as last season in the bubble. Philadelphia is really doing it. Embiid is playing at an MVP level, and he's playing against the Suns right now. With 5 minutes left in the second. But I still think it's the Lakers season. I think it's Lakers and the Nets in the finals. But it's only the first half of the season. Second half starts in March. The All-Star game. So as Juan Patel. Sorry, they're going to have a slam dunk contest. During the halftime show, fine. If you're doing a halftime show, I'm okay with it. But yeah, that was on ESPN. But what is not needed is the actual All-Star game. The All-Star game is not needed. And I said this last week. We know LeBron's feelings on it. He doesn't want it to happen. We know Darren Fox's feelings on it. I haven't heard any other players speak out about it. But LeBron James speaking out on it shows something. If I said this last week's show, if you remember, if he doesn't want the All-Star game to happen, LeBron, just drop out, man. Just drop out of the All-Star game. That's all you gotta do. And if you drop out, some other players might drop out. Some other players might drop out. LeBron, you're the most influential NBA player ever. You are the leader of the NBA, and what you say and what your actions say is that if you drop out, I see people following you and dropping out. And that's all you gotta do, man. Just say you're dropping out of the NBA All-Star game because of reasons, obviously. And it's just say. And other players might or might not follow, but I suspect some will and some won't. All-Star game is not needed this year. Just keep it to next year. I believe the MLB is playing All-Star game, but that could be a better situation. But yeah, this All-Star game is not needed. If they're having a slam dunk contest, All-Star game, if they're doing it during the All-Star game, I'm fine with it. If it's a slam dunk contest, if they're having an All-Star game, because they are, it's confirmed. And I think the All-Star game is on the pay-per-view, right? AEW's pay-per-view Revolution. Ugh. For me, that's okay. I'll watch the All-Star game on the TV and Revolution on my computer, my laptop. Because I'm not buying the pay-per-view. I'm not buying the Revolution, man. Yeah. Any more sports news to talk about, guys? I don't want to make this a short video. Yeah, you're right. Normally it is, but this year is on a Saturday night, and they compete with AEW. And you know, if TNT might not be happy with this, happy with AEW, AEW most likely have to change. Will most likely have to. I mean, let's forget AEW was originally supposed to be on the 28th and 29th of this month, but they moved it to the 7th. But that was before the All-Star game was even mentioned or even had brought up in ideas. Yep, yeah, exactly, Ron. You nailed it right there again. Once again, if it wasn't on Saturday night, they wouldn't have a problem. They wouldn't have a problem. And yeah, you're right. I don't think AEW is moving the pay per view because they already moved it once, and they're gonna have to compete with the NBA All Star Game. Good luck for them because the NBA All Star Game is getting more eyes. And TNT doesn't do the pay per views, but ooh. Just remember, guys, when AEW moved this pay per view, the idea of the All Star Game wasn't brought to our attention and wasn't confirmed until like recently. That's gonna be on the same day as AEW, and AEW is supposed to be on the 28th or the 29th of this month. This is a bad look for AEW, man. AEW. And AEW is not changing the pay-per-view date. I just don't see it. What the? Oh my god. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think this is necessary to have All-Star Game in general at all this year. Nobody was anchoring for an All-Star Game. Not this year. Just play the season, play the playoffs. Nobody was wanting an All-Star Game. And the players don't want the All-Star Game either. The only time they took the All-Star Game serious is last week. Most of the time, like before last year, the All-Star Game was a joke anyway. And people got tired of it. Here's the thing. With All-Star Game weekend, Ron, you have to agree with me. People didn't come to see the All-Star Game. They came to see the skills competition, the slam dunk contest, the three-point contest, dribbling contest, whatever. That's what people wanted to see. They didn't care about the All-Star Game. They cared about the skills competition. Don't you think that's what that people wanted to see more than the All-Star Game? You might have to. They love Saturday night pay-per-views. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, exactly. That's the only reason people watch the All-Star Game weekend. It's a skills competition. Nobody cares about the actual All-Star Game. Yeah, it's the best players, but... But besides last year, all the All-Star Games were about highlights, super dunks, super athletic, crazy plays, back-to-behind passes. Stuff you can't do in a real game. It was basically Globetrotter games in the All-Star Game. The All-Star Game. Globetrotter-like. And I think the difference is Globetrotters are meant to do that stuff. The Harlem Globetrotters are meant to do that. And if I want to see that kind of stuff, I watch the Harlem Globetrotter games. And I don't disrespect the Harlem Globetrotters. They put a lot of entertainment shows. But with the NBA, an NBA game with the NBA players, I want a real game. You don't have to try your hardest, but try your best because you don't want to get hurt. But that kind of stuff, I watch a Harlem Globetrotters game. And baseball's gonna have an All-Star game, guys. Apparently they're gonna have a baseball All-Star game. Well, but by the time baseball has an All-Star game, it could be it could be a better situation. Yeah, man. I just like seeing like the only thing I like about the All-Star game is the skills competition and the show around the game. Not the game itself, but the show. That's like the concerts and all the show around the game. Not the actual game. That's the only time I like the All-Star game. Because we all know NHL, no, they're not having an All-Star game. No. No All-Star game for the NHL. Because the NHL is different. Oh, because NFL, the All-Star game is the biggest joke in the league, the Pro Bowl. They don't try, because you don't want to get hurt in an All-Star game. They don't try in the NFL game. They don't try. It's all about spectacular plays. They don't try to tackle you. They won't tackle you hard because you don't want to injure player. You don't want to injure player. It's a joke. NBA it's basically the same thing. It's about showboating most of the time. NBA All-Star game is about showboating with these amazing dunks during a game, back-to-back passes. Like one time Shaq in All-Star game did a dribble through the leg. Stuff like that. It's more about showing off. An NBA All-Star game is more about showing off than playing the actual game. And stuff you can't do in a real NBA game. You can't really show off like that in a real NBA game. Yeah, sometimes there's some plays in the NBA is show off like plays, but an All-Star game is like 100% all show off games. NFL is like that too. Yeah, NHL changed it a bit. Yeah, they changed it for a few years. See, NHL made a legit competition with this style. Yeah, it is a preseason game. It is a preseason game, an exhibition game. Yeah, exactly. I mean, well, I would say preseason game teams, I would say it's a little different. Well, a preseason game is considered an exhibition game. At least a preseason game players try because they want to make the team and stuff. All-Star games, you already have the best players in the league in the team, so it's a little. It's in a sense it doesn't mean anything, but with preseason, I mean for players. It's mostly for players that are trying to make a team or trying to get the shape for the season. Yeah. Yeah. The one All-Star game I thought was taken seriously was baseball. Because at one point, whoever won the All-Star game gets home field advantage in the World Series. But they changed that back in 2019, 2018. But that sport was taken seriously. And there was times where it wasn't taken seriously. Like, for example, I think it was Randy Johnson, Marshall Clemens threw a fastball. And Larry Walker, one point, reversed his helmet. Or John Kruk. Baseball could be taken very seriously in the All-Star game. In the NHL All-Star games, they don't hit. They don't do it like they do in the actual game. And people in All-Star games want the players to play like they're actual, like they mean something, like they're actually playing an actual season game. But they don't do that. But the one All-Star game moment I'll never forget, I think it was 2002, 2003, 2001, one of those years. Baseball, when Torrey Hunter robbed Barry Bonds of a home run. You remember? If you remember that, Torrey Hunter, let me see if I can find it for you guys. I'm looking for it. This is one of my favorite moments. Then we're going to end the show, guys. Robs Barry Bonds. Yeah, see, one remembers that. And I'm going to play with sound, okay? Yep. This is what happened. So I'm gonna share screen this. I'm not gonna play with sound because I don't. Here we go. I'll show you it.
His arms extended as he raises one into right center field. At the wall, it is caught. Oh, what a catch by didn't get his arms extended as he raises one into right center field. At the wall, it is caught. Oh, what a catch by Torrey Hunter. Woo.
This is where he gets carried up.
Is that any good? That'll wake you up. My goodness. Way over the wall
Look at
to take a
Ichiro.
home run away from Barry Bonds. And fans in Minnesota will tell you that's routine for this guy. And Bonds says thanks a lot.
So yeah. Yeah, man. That's what I love about baseball, man. It's those spectacular catches. Oh, man. Oh, Bo Jackson, man. That guy was an athlete. Hot, football. Beast of an outfielder in the majors. Guy was an animal, Bo Jackson. So, guys, been a little bit over an hour. Thank you for listening, guys. So, before I end the show, I got something to tell you. Tomorrow, you know how usually I like to do pay-per-view streams for WWE, because you know tomorrow's NXT Vengeance Day, right? And usually when there's WWE pay-per-views, I like to make a video. Not a stream, but I usually like to make a video on the day of the pay-per-view because stuff could change. But tomorrow I changed it up a bit. Tomorrow I'm still gonna give my preview and predictions of NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day tomorrow, but it's gonna be a special stream clock. But I'll be streaming my NXT Vengeance Day TakeOver preview and predictions. And in the comments, you can tell me who you think is gonna win and what they think they should do. And join me when I maybe I'll have some people on if they want to come on and talk about Vengeance Day, NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day. So it's gonna be a stream. Not a video. And I might do it if it goes well. I might do it for Elimination Chamber, Fastlane, WrestleMania, and you get the idea. And WrestleMania might be 2 nights, so oh my god, WrestleMania might be on a Why We Love Sports episode because it's Saturday, right? WrestleMania will be on a Saturday. So maybe if WrestleMania is on a Saturday, maybe I'll do 2 separate streams. That's Why We Love Sports and WrestleMania Day 1. Night 1 WrestleMania stream. So I might do 2 separate streams on that day. But that's in April. That's in 2 months. So that's a long way off. So stream tomorrow for Vengeance Day. And expect Elimination Chamber. If it goes well, Elimination Chamber next Sunday. So thanks, guys. And then Monday, it's all about wrestling. And I'm going to review NXT Vengeance Day TakeOver. Talk about Raw and SmackDown and AEW. No NXT from this past week because the pay-per-view would be passed by then, right? So I don't, you know me, I usually don't like to talk about the shows on the week. I usually don't like to talk about the shows on the past week after the pay-per-view happens. And my mic just fell. And whenever wrestling news happens on Monday, so TakeOver review and Raw and SmackDown and AEW Dynamite weekly review. As I said, no NXT. And whenever wrestling news pops up, and you give my ideas what should happen. I made a video on Edge and Bianca Belair which WrestleMania title should go after. Check that out. Maybe I'll post after this video. I'll post it on here. And then Thursday is all about wrestling. No, it's all about the pop culture. But in the meantime, look out for more streams, more video game streams, and random streams. I know I said I was gonna do that, but I haven't done it. In those random streams, we can talk about anything. There's no politics and no virus talk, because I don't want negativity in here. And when we hear that, those things, it doesn't usually go well. And then I will say next Saturday, why we love sports. So I'll hope to see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern for predictions, takeover predictions, and previewing predictions. So before I go, like, comment, subscribe down below, and I'll have a good day. See you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.